Please be seated. Are the parties present and ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please stand when addressing the court counsel.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is defense present and ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's move to the defense case in chief. Defense, any witnesses?
Your Honor, I would like to call Phoenix Blake to the stand.
Ms. Blake?
May I proceed?
You may.
Please state your name to the court.
Hi, I'm Phoenix Blake.
What brings you here today?
I am here because I was one of the students that was in the lab 2A at the time before the fire.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am a DJ and I'm just trying to get my music started up. But at the time of the fire, I was a junior at Tabor University, majoring in business.
Do you have a job?
Yes, I work at For Burger Herders, which I'm a cook out there. And I also make music, background music for Danny Decides, which is their reality show.
Is this the same show run by the defendant's father, Elliot Dawson?
Yes, it is.
Can you tell me about the days leading up to the fire?
Well, the days leading up to the fire, I was, can you please repeat the questions?
Could you tell me about the days leading up to the fire?
The days leading up to the fire, I was very sick, and so I missed the lab, and then I had to make it up.
I'd now like to talk about the day of the fire. What did you do once you got to the lab?
I arrived at the lab pretty early at 3 o'clock, and I set up at lab station 6, and later at 5:15, CJ showed up at and sat next at lab station 1, where he was very far away from me because I sometimes beatbox under my breath.
Was the lab easy?
Well, I'm not very good at science, so it wasn't really easy for me, and I forgot my hot plate book at home, so.
Are you friends with Miss Schultz or Miss Dawson?
Oh yeah, I'm really good friends with Schultz, but she always tries to stay away from me because I can sometimes get her distracted.
What about you and Miss Dawson?
Miss Dawson I'm not very much friends with, but she seems pretty cool.
Did you and Miss Dawson talk at all the night of the fire?
Oh yeah, we were laughing with each other all night. She was talking about her really, really cool neighbor who's a neurosurgeon and is trying to become a professional wrestler. His name's Dr. Giggles. And I was laughing so hard that I almost dropped my flask.
Was there any supervision?
No, there was no supervision.
Are there any methods the college takes to protect the school after hours?
Oh, well, after hours, which it ends at 6, we have to go back outside and scan our card in to put on the log that we are there after hours.
Do people typically swipe in?
I would say about 50%. It's really just an honor code.
So what happens to the other 50% who don't swipe in?
Well, nothing really happens to them. They just don't really get punished. They don't enforce the rule that much, but students are highly obligated to follow by the rule.
What happened when the building closed?
Well, when the building closed, we went outside as Danny was the leader, and he brought us all outside to swipe in our cards. Me and Danny went right back inside, but CJ stayed out for about 5 minutes or more to have a smoke.
What happened as you continued the lab?
As we continued the lab, me and Danny kept talking and laughing a lot, and CJ was just focusing on his work, but yeah.
So when did you complete the lab?
We completed the lab around 7 when we started picking up. We got finished with picking up around 7:20.
Was there anything out of the ordinary?
Well, after everybody picked up their stuff, I did notice that CJ had left his hot plate out, which he has done a couple of times, but
What happened as you left the room?
well, as we left the room, it was CJ last, so he flipped off the master switch. At least I think he did.
Hold on, could you tell me about the master switch?
The master switch basically controls all the power in the room, so it turns off all the things and outlets.
Are students required to turn off the switch?
Yes, they're highly, it is a big rule that you have to turn off the master switch after you're done using it.
When you left the lab, where did you go?
After I left the lab, I went to the bathroom. CJ and Danny started heading to the east door. I parked in the west parking lot, so I just headed to the bathroom real quick. But when I came out of the bathroom, Danny, I guess, had came back in because he had to use the bathroom. We kept talking for about 10 more minutes about how funny his neighbor was.
Was anyone besides Danny in the building when you scanned out?
Well, when I left the building through the west door, I did notice that there was Ruben, who is another student at the university. Yeah.
Besides a person, are there any other issues with the school that could have caused the accident?
Well, we did have a previous gas leak a couple years ago, and there was supposed to be a checkup a couple weeks after the fire, but that didn't happen.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Any cross-examination?
Yes. May I proceed?
You may.
I'd like to talk about your job. You work at a restaurant, correct?
Yes, I work at for Burger Herders.
You also work at a TV show, correct?
Yes, I make background music for Danny Decides.
This is the same show run by the defendant's father, correct?
Yes, it is.
Is it true that the defendant got you on the show?
Yes, they did.
You're hoping this job is going to kickstart your career, correct?
Yes, I am hoping it will.
Let's talk about Miss Dawson's attitude the night of the fire. Miss Dawson was cracking jokes a lot that night, correct?
Yeah, she was.
You were laughing very hard, correct?
Yes, we were having a lot of fun.
Miss Dawson was demonstrating wrestling moves, correct?
Yeah, she was showing her signature Top Gun moves.
And telling stories, right?
Yeah, she was telling stories about her neurosurgeon neighbor.
Miss Dawson almost fell on the floor during one of these, correct?
Yes, she did.
And you almost dropped a flask from laughing hard, correct?
Yes, but I didn't.
You went to the bathroom when you completed the lab, correct?
Yes, I did.
You talked with Miss Dawson outside of the bathroom, correct?
Yes, we talked about 10 minutes or so.
You left first, right?
Yes, I scanned out around 7:33.
Miss Dawson was still standing in the building when you exited, correct?
Yes, she was.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor. May my witness resume her seat?
She may. Thank you for your testimony. Any further witnesses for the defense?
Your Honor, I would like to call the next witness, the Honorable Elliot Dawson, to the stand.
Ms. Dawson?
Your Honor, may I proceed?
You may.
Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Elliot Dawson.
Where do you live?
I currently reside in Mapes, Iowa with my spouse, Dr. Luca Dawson, and our beloved daughter, Danny.
Judge Dawson, please tell us more about your career.
Well, I graduated first in my law class, and then I clerked for an Iowa Supreme Court justice. Then I served as editor-in-chief of the Law Review before I became a judge for Iowa's 9th Judicial District for the next 21 years. After that, I became the Chief District Court Judge for the next 6 years before I left the bench in 2023 to pursue a career in television with my show, Dawson Decides, similar to Judge Judy.
Please tell us more about Miss Dawson's childhood.
Yes. Well, Dr. Dawson and I have tried to raise Danny to the fullest extent of our abilities, but we realized early on that Danny was special. Not special the way all parents think their child is special, but solving Rubik's Cubes while in pull-ups special.
I am now showing the opposing counsel what has been marked as Exhibit 7. Would Your Honor like a courtesy copy?
Yes, please, counsel. Thank you.
I'm handing the witness what has been marked as Exhibit 7. What is this?
This is Danny's high school transcript for her grades. She all A's.
Is it a true and accurate copy?
Yes, it is.
Have any changes been made?
No, they have not.
I move to admit Exhibit 7 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
It's admitted.
What was life like with Miss Dawson growing up?
Danny was a prodigy. We enrolled her in many accelerated programs to cultivate that, and the results speak for themselves. Danny took to our initiatives quickly and flourished, earning perfect grades and all throughout her high school years. Although she could be a bit of a smart aleck sometimes.
When?
Well, I remember once she was younger and complained about having too many grapes, so I told her just eat half of them. She then proceeded to take each grape, cut it in half, and eat 1/2 of that grape for all of them. She is a troublemaker.
Was she good at everything?
Well, I wouldn't say that. Danny wasn't as gifted at athletics or creativity, and when things didn't go well for her, especially in those areas, she tended to have a tantrum.
Can you describe Miss Dawson's tantrums for us?
Yes, these tantrums were Danny's outlet for her anger and frustration. And I remember one time in high school, she tried out for the tennis team, which did not end well. There were tears and smashed rackets, but Danny apologized immediately.
Has the defendant ever hurt anyone during her tantrums?
No, Danny has never directed her anger at anyone before. Not even in her most angered states has she ever, or will ever, I believe, hurt anyone. It's just not the way she was raised.
What was Miss Dawson's behavior like after these tantrums?
Post-tantrum, Danny would always be extremely apologetic. That failed tennis team tryout I mentioned earlier, after the tantrum, she publicly apologized to everyone, the coach and all the players. My daughter has always overcome her tantrums to channel that energy into something productive and useful.
I'm now approaching the witness to retrieve the exhibit. May I approach the bench to tender Exhibit 7?
You may. Thank you.
Did you or your spouse ever pressure the defendant about her grades?
No, we never pressured Danny about something as trivial as grades. Dr. Dawson and I have strived to follow our family motto. If you try your hardest, you will be the best, as an example for Danny. All we've ever wanted for her was to embrace her full potential, which she was doing, and no one bad grade will ever change our high opinion of her, a fact of which she is fully aware.
I'm now showing the opposing counsel what has been marked as Exhibit 8. Would Your Honor like a courtesy copy?
Yes, please, counsel. Thank you.
I'm handing the witness what has been marked as Exhibit 8. What is this?
This is Danny and my emails about her B- in poetry.
Is it a true and accurate copy?
Yes, it is.
Have any changes been made?
No, they have not.
I move to admit Exhibit 8 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
Counsel, I'm concerned about the hearsay in this document. Could you address that?
Your Honor, this is not, for the truth of the matter, it is just to show that the defendant was comforted.
Comforted by?
His father.
Okay. I see what you mean, counsel. It's admitted with that notation. Please continue.
How did the accused respond to your email about the grade?
In my email, I simply stated that Tabard is a competitive university, and although she may not be the next Longfellow, All we ask is that she simply tries and enjoys her classes. She responded to me a little bit later and said that after taking some time off to reflect, she had regained her perspective, as I knew she would. Just like the time she got bit by a goose as a child. Something bad happened, but she survived. She got a B- in poetry, but she survived.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel.
I'm now approaching the witness to retrieve the exhibit. May I approach the bench to tender?
You may. Thank you. Any cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor. May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may.
I would like to talk about your relationship with the defendant. Danny is an only child, correct?
Correct.
And you've always been very supportive of them.
Correct.
You think Miss Dawson has natural gifts, right?
Correct.
And these gifts are so clear they can be intimidating to peers, right?
Some may take it that way.
And you thought Miss Dawson's gifts were intimidating even to teachers?
Some may say so.
You are familiar with the fire at Miss Dawson's school, right?
Yes.
You believe that Danny would never do this, correct?
No.
At least not out of malice.
No.
In fact, you think this question is beneath the dignity of decent inquiry, right?
Correct.
Now, I would like to talk a little bit about the defendant's history of tantrums. It is true that the defendant gets angry sometimes, right?
That's true.
She has thrown tantrums.
Ever since she was little.
Tantrums so large that they can inspire a great tragedy, right?
Yes.
And Miss Dawson once threw a tantrum after a T-ball loss.
Yes.
And after that, you were thankful the T-ball's house the coach's house was still standing, correct?
I tend to exaggerate, yes.
Another time, the defendant was trying to.
Relevance?
Response, counsel, as to relevance?
Your Honor, I'm trying to show that the defendant has had many tantrums and over the smallest things.
Response?
This is not relevant to what she was stating earlier.
What do you mean, counsel? Why is this not relevant?
Because the previous tantrums don't affect this case.
Final response, counsel. Why are these tantrums, previous tantrums, relevant as to this charge?
Your Honor, they just connect to how the defendant reacts to things in the present now. I feel.
Objection overruled. Please continue.
I would like to talk about your parenting for the defendant. You and your spouse never demanded perfection from the defendant, right?
Correct.
But you had high expectations, correct?
Yes.
You tried to model perfection, right?
Yes.
You held advanced degrees in your field, right?
Yes.
And even esteemed positions?
Yes.
You both graduated summa cum laude with 4.0 GPAs, right?
Correct.
You display your diplomas, right?
Yes.
And you believe that you never suggested that the defendant must replicate your success, correct?
Yes.
But the defendant was perfect.
Some may say so.
They got great grades, correct?
That's true.
Until one day they told you how they got a poor grade.
Yes.
You were shocked at how pathetic the grade was, right?
Yes.
You thought the grade was pathetic.
Yes.
I would like to talk about the night of the fire. The defendant called you that night, right?
That's true.
The defendant told you that they were worried someone might suspect them of lighting the fire, correct?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor. May my witness resume their seat?
Sure do. Thank you for your testimony, Your Honor. Any further witnesses for the defense?
Your Honor, I'd like to call Danny Dawson to the stand.
Ms. Dawson, please take the seat and take the stand. Excuse me.
Your Honor, may I proceed?
You may.
State your name for the court.
Hello, Your Honor. My name is Danny Dawson.
What is your address?
As of right now, I live with my parents, Elliot and Luca Dawson. But during the 2024 school year, I lived with my roommates on campus, aka the Maverick.
Danny, could you please tell us a little more about yourself?
Yes. A little known fact about me is that I'm a huge Top Gun fan. Wait, that's probably pretty obvious. I'm also a chemistry minor and a terrible poet, which is kind of unusual because, well, frankly, that's like the only thing I'm bad at, and athletics, but that's besides the point.
I would like to move into the events of March 2nd. Could you please explain the events that transpired that day?
On March 2nd, I received a poetry grade, a B-, which is pretty uncommon for me. Actually, it's never happened before. It made me furious. I even punched a hole in my wall. I emailed my professor asking if it was a mistake, but I knew it wasn't. I was just in complete shock. I emailed my parents explaining what happened.
How did you feel after getting that B-?
As I mentioned before, that B- felt like a punch in the gut. I'd worked so hard to get good grades my whole life, so I was a little scared that my parents might be a little disappointed in me. But that wasn't the case. When I told my parents, they assured me that they'd be proud of me no matter what, and that one bad grade wouldn't define my future success.
What were your outlets for that emotion?
As I previously mentioned, I did punch a hole in my wall, but that was just an initial reaction. I would never do anything more extreme than that. I mostly just isolated myself.
Permission to approach the bench to retrieve tendered evidence.
Permission granted, counsel. What are you looking for?
Exhibit 8.
Exhibit 8. Right here.
Permission to approach a witness.
Granted.
What were your intentions of this email?
In this email I sent to my parent, Elliot Dawson, I was just thanking her for being so supportive and encouraging me.
Permission to retrieve the Exhibit 8 from the witness.
Granted.
Permission to approach the bench to re-tender the evidence.
Granted. Thank you, counsel.
What did you do later that day on March 5th?
On March 5th, I arrived around 5:20 to the Lubin Labs to work on an assignment that I had missed. I scanned in as always and began to work with a couple of other students who had also missed the lab. Of course, we would chat a little, but we got our work done fairly quickly. That night I talked a lot with Phoenix.
Did you bring anything with you to the lab?
Yes, I brought all the supplies needed for the lab. Since I'm always trying to get good grades on my assignments, I made sure to have everything I need, especially my book on the proper use of hot plates. It's pretty important for us to have, so when Phoenix forgot theirs, I made sure to lend them mine.
Were there any supervisors or security there?
No, there were not. It was just CJ, Phoenix, and I.
Can you describe your relationship with Phoenix Blake?
I mean, I don't really know Phoenix all too well. I've had a couple classes with them, but we've never really talked or hang out outside of them. I mean, from what I know, Phoenix is a pretty hardworking kid and a pretty skilled beatboxer.
What about your relationship with CJ Schultz?
It's roughly the same. I don't really know CJ all too well, but I've had a couple classes with him also.
Out of what you've known of them, what is CJ Schultz like?
CJ's pretty absent-minded, messing around a lot and talking a lot.
What happened when you were leaving the lab?
Me and CJ exited the building, but right as we exit, I realized that I should probably use the bathroom while we were still there. So I told CJ that I needed to go use the restroom, scanned back in, and went to the bathroom. On my way there, I saw Phoenix Blake, and we talked for a little while.
Did CJ turn off the master switch?
I don't really know. I mean, I assumed he did. The last person out is always supposed to turn it off.
What did you do after you finished talking with Phoenix by the restrooms?
After we were done talking, me and Phoenix parted ways, and since I really like Tom Cruise movies, I attempted a risky business slide over back to CJ, but I fell off my intended path, slipped on the floor, and went back outside for CJ. And CJ probably didn't even notice because they were busy smoking outside, which is probably a good thing because it was a little embarrassing.
Do you recognize this?
Yes, this is the second floor of the Paul and Francis Lubin Natural Sciences Building.
1 second, she's not gonna be able to get back up. She's not key.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I didn't finish that.
I completely. It's like, because I was scared you were going to object to put lack of foundation, so I was like, oh.
You realize
Oh,
this
I
is
would
on
have
camera?
objected.
You guys are both just like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
This is on camera.
I know.
It's fine. It'll be okay.
I'm gonna ask Ms. Thompson to send me that footage later.
Sorry. Okay. Continue.
I don't know, whatever.
Now approaching the opposing counsel with what has been previously marked as Exhibit 4. Permission to, or would Your Honor like a courtesy copy?
Yes, please, counsel.
Is this a fair and accurate copy of Exhibit 4?
Yes.
Have any changes been made?
No.
The defense now moves to enter what has been marked as Exhibit 4 into evidence.
Any objection?
Lack of foundation.
Response counsel as to lack of foundation.
Your Honor, the witness mentioned that they were talking with Phoenix by the restrooms and failed to maneuver while leaving with CJ. We just wanted to use this to prove that.
What's the foundation for this map, counsel? How do we know what this is?
The witness said that this was a map of the Lubin Natural Sciences Building.
Any further argument, counsel?
No.
Objection overruled. The exhibit is admitted.
Your Honor,
Sorry.
Your Honor, do we have permission to set up a demonstrative?
You may.
Your Honor, may the witness step down to make use of the demonstrative?
She may.
Danny, we know that you were talking with Phoenix by the restrooms and failed a maneuver, which caused you to go off your route outside to CJ. Can you walk us through your intended route and can you walk us through your intended route?
Well, I was talking with Phoenix Blake around the restrooms, and since CJ was right outside the east parking lot door, I was trying to go down the hallway over to him. But while trying my risky business maneuver, I slipped off my intended path, and I had to come back around to exit that hallway.
Your Honor, the witness has stated that she was at Phoenix by the restrooms, slipped off her intended path, and ran out to CJ. May the witness retake her seat on the stand.
She may.
I would like to discuss what happened later that night. How did you feel after finding out about the fire?
After finding out about that fire, I was shocked. I'd been in that building earlier that day. I could have died. And people accused me of starting that fire, but I would never. I needed that building. As I previously mentioned, I'm a chemistry minor, and it would be extremely difficult for me to finish without this building.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Any cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor. Let's take a look into what happened in the days before the lab. You got a B- in the poetry workshop, correct?
Yes,
And this was your first non-A grade, right?
yes,
You were upset about the B-.
yes, I was upset.
And you claimed you did not know that your poetry professor who gave you a B- and the head of the science department were married, did you?
I did not know.
Until the police told you, correct?
Yes.
Let's talk about the email. Now I approach to tender exhibit 1.
One?
One.
Yes, counsel.
I'm showing opposing counsel what's marked as exhibit 1. I'm handing the witness exhibit 1. You sent an email to your poetry professor, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And this is that email, correct?
Yes, it is.
Can you read the line, the first of the capitalized lines?
Could you repeat that question?
Could you read the first capitalized line in the bottom of the text? Permission to approach the witness to
Wait.
clarify
Granted.
this line right here. Actually, may you read all 3 of these lines?
Sure. No.
Counsel?
I am approaching the witness to receive exhibit 1. Permission to tender exhibit 1.
Granted. Thank you.
You don't always handle failure well, correct?
Not always.
This happens when things don't go your way, correct?
Yes, sometimes it does.
And you punched a hole through your wall before, correct?
Yes, I did.
I'd like to hit on the poem that you wrote quickly. May I approach to tender exhibit 10?
You may approach.
I'm showing opposing counsel, which is marked as exhibit 10. I'm in the witness exhibit 10. You wrote this note, correct?
Yes, I did.
And you wrote the note because you were upset, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You wrote in the note, abandon all hope, you that enter here.
No.
In the note, you wrote, fire, fire, burning bright, a blazing inferno in the night, correct?
Yes, I did.
Would you classify this email as threatening?
No.
Well, now let's talk. I'm approaching the witness to retrieve exhibit 10. May I tender exhibit 10?
You may. Thank you, counsel.
Now let's talk about what you did in the lab. You set up your materials at lab station 7, correct?
Yes.
You finished your lab shortly after 7 p.m., right?
Yes.
And the lights were turned off when you left.
Yes, they were.
You scanned out of the building at 7:24 and went right back in, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You were the only one that went right back in?
Yes.
Nobody went back in with you.
No. But Phoenix Blake was still inside.
You told your friends you were going back in.
Yes, I told CJ I was going back in.
You scanned out at 7:35, right?
Approximately, yes.
You say say you were only gone for a few minutes, right?
Yeah, I said I was gone for a few minutes.
But you were gone for 11 minutes, right?
Yes, that is a few minutes.
Let's talk about what you did while you were inside. You claimed you went to the restroom, correct?
Yes,
You stopped and talked with Miss Blake about your neighbor, didn't you?
yes, I did.
When you slid into the hall, you don't think Miss Schultz saw you, right?
I'm not sure. She was pretty busy smoking outside.
You claimed
Objection.
never.
Speculation.
Could you repeat your answer, Miss Dawson?
Is-
Can you repeat your answer, Miss Dawson?
Yes. I don't know if she saw me or not. She was pretty busy smoking outside.
Okay. Response as to speculation, counsel.
The witness in her statement has stated that she did not believe that Miss Schultz had seen her.
In your testimony today, counsel, is that what you're saying?
In the witness statement and in her testimony today.
Okay, let's set aside her testimony, or sorry, her witness statement. Response as to speculation regarding the witness's testimony.
The question required the witness to make a guess on what they thought happened.
Just regarding the testimony, are you alleging the testimony itself was objectionable? Okay, what about the testimony was objectionable, counsel?
It required the witness to make a guess.
Oh, the question did.
Yeah, the question.
Okay, what about the testimony that the witness elicited? The words of the witness.
I meant to object the question, not the testimony.
Okay. Typically, counsel, we like timely objections if you're gonna object to the question. Seeing as that it was not timely, I'm gonna overrule your objection. Please continue.
When you claimed you never had gone anywhere other than the bathroom, correct?
I did slip down the hallway and exited through the other hallway, but yes, that's it.
So you claim never to have gone anywhere other than the bathroom, right? Yes or no?
No.
So after you left the lab, your interaction with Ms. Schultz in the parking lot was positive, wasn't it?
Yes, I would say so.
And you swapped phone numbers.
Yes, we did.
Let's take a look at what you did after you came home from the lab. When you heard about the fire, you were initially shocked, weren't you?
I was shocked.
But then you went back to studying, right?
Yes, I had to continue my studies.
When you heard that officials wanted to question students, you weren't too worried, were you?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
Because you believed that the truth would come out eventually?
Yes.
I'd like to talk about your background. Your father's a former judge, right?
Yes.
And your mother is a world-renowned geneticist, correct?
Yes.
And your parents would disown you if you committed arson, wouldn't they?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor. May the witness step down from the stand.
Sure. Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, seeing that the
Oh, yeah.
defense has rested its case in chief, we will move on to closing arguments. Before that, we typically take a 5-minute recess. It is currently 3:04 p.m. We will reconvene at 3:09. Thank you.
A few little hiccups there, but we did good.
I have an objection. You have to make Dallin. It's so
I
late.
was trying